Starts by making the pasta for the pumpkin tortelli, and we make it very much the, I suppose, the classic Italian recipe. It's 1 egg to 100 grams of flour. Always use 00 pasta flour, just has a high gluten content and it just makes it much more pliable when you come to roll your dough out. So we've probably got about 500 grams of flour there, so we're going to put about 4 to 5 eggs in. These are Italian eggs. I know it doesn't bode well with air miles, but they're fed on carrots and parsley, just so you get this amazing yellow yolk. And they're actually bred, these chickens, just for their eggs, just so you get this fantastic yellowness. Put it in the centre of the flour and just lightly beat it like that, and add a little bit of salt as well. Not too much, but just enough to sort of get the flour seasoned up. And then gradually start to bring in the flour, just, until you start to mould it in together. Secret is try and make it, you can add water and egg to it, but once you make it too wet, it's a bit harder to sort of start incorporating too much flour into it. So it's better to have it a little drier than a little too wet. So you can see already it's starting to mould, and I'm just sort of bringing the pasta back on itself like so. Pasta made. Okay, so you can see already it's forming this fantastic yellow pasta ball, and we're just going to sort of knead it together. You need to knead it for a good sort of 3 to 4 minutes, but you want to be able to cut into the centre of it. Let it rest for about 10-15 minutes. You can make it overnight. If you do make it overnight, pack it with cling film again and wrap it in foil as well, just to make sure it doesn't oxidise, which it shouldn't actually. Okay, so we've let our pasta rest. We're just flattening it out slightly. I'm waiting for Alfie to go psychotic mode, but always make sure you try and use the width of the machine and don't force it through. If it's not thin enough for that dial or that width, take it back or roll it out a bit more, because you're going to end up busting the machine, and all you'll do is make sure your pasta's in this sort of concertina type when it comes out to Alfie, just behave. So we basically rolled our pasta out. It's quite thin. Some people like it really see-through, but it's not, you want a bit of a bite to it. And if you've got it, managed to get the whole width of the machine, then cut it down the centre, and you're going to do 2 lots of tortelli at the same time. I'm just going to show you the sort of traditional way that we do it at home, which sort of take it just a little bit with your fingers, just like that. So. Okay, then we're going to egg wash just the top part of it, very lightly. Don't make it too much. All these extra bits, you don't waste them. When we're making it at home, I tend to just re-roll it again, put it into bags and make it into tagliatelle, so you don't waste any of it. So then fold over your pasta, gently like so, and dip your hand in the flour and turn it, sort of cup it, so that it goes around each little tortelli, like so. Then take the top half and then fold that back over. And again, not crush it down, but just, flatten the pasta down, seal it, so it's nicely sealed like so. Okay, and you cut them out. It's like any extra bits you just put to one side, and like I said, you can reuse them again. Stick them in the freezer, or you reuse them in soups or something, there's absolutely no waste. Right, so there you've got your first lot of tortelli. So basically boiling salted water. Once they're in there, let them, sort of 30 seconds, 10 to 30 seconds, whatever. And just give them a stir. You can basically see that they come straight up, because it's absolutely fresh as you like the pasta. Come straight up to the surface, and it's only going to take like sort of a couple of minutes for them to cook. Okay, so in the pan we've got a little bit of melted butter. I'm just going to take to a tiny beurre noisette, not too dark. Just as like we said, to get a little bit of nuttiness there. And you can see how amazingly yellow they are because of the eggs actually, which is fantastic. Right, so you just cook them for just 30 seconds just to make sure that the filling's nice and hot inside. Make sure they're nicely drained. Into the butter. We're just going to finish them with a little bit of fresh parmesan and some sort of chopped Amaretti biscuits. There's a few crushed Amaretti. Yeah. Simple.